start by talking about fixed odds betting terminals. Like these, well, they have been described by some as the crack cocaine of gambling because they are so addictive, obviously. It is possible to lose really a lot of money in a very short amount of time on one of these machines. But now, the maximum stake for FOBTs could drop to as little as £2 under a government review. At the moment, people can bet up to 100 quid every 20 seconds on the gaming machines, but proposals could limit that to between £2 and £50. The rise of fixed odds betting terminals is an issue we've been covering for years on this programme, both on the TV and on the radio, where we've heard from addicts who have lost hundreds of thousands of pounds on them. Last year, an investigation by this programme found staff in betting shops telling us they were being told to offer customers perks and incentives to keep them playing on those controversial high-stakes machines.
I came out of the hairdressers. I thought, oh, go on, what's the harm? I'll go in and I'll have a go. The addiction's always present. I fed in what I had in my wallet, which I think was about £90. Then I came out, took some money out of the cash point, and at this point I was totally devastated and just completely caught up in the gambling. In a red mist is probably the best way to describe it, or a fog. And I just went to the counter and I said, 500. I lost that in the space of a few minutes. 1,000, lost that. 1,000, lost that, and another 1,000 until I had no more money in my bank account.
And how did you feel after losing that?
Devastated. At this point, the plan was still for my for my wife and child to come and live here in this country with me. I'd got a flat set up and everything ready to go, but because of that relapse and because my wife realised I was still very much in the gambling, the addiction was there.
So let us know your reaction to the proposed changes through the programme this morning, particularly if you have used fixed odds betting terminals. You can send me an email, you can tweet, Facebook, the usual. Right, let's talk now to Jason Hadigan, who was a gambling addict who lost a fortune on fixed odds betting terminals. Adam Bradford's father has had major gambling problems, at one point going to prison to fuel his habit. And also in the studio, we've got the Labour MP Carolyn Harris, who chairs a cross-party group on fixed odds betting. And in a moment we'll be joined too by John White from the British Amusement Catering Trade Association. Welcome all of you. Jason, I'd like to start with you. How much do you reckon that you have lost through your lifetime on these terminals?
I have lost over £300,000 on the FOBTs.
Over what period of time?
Okay, so they come out in the year 2000.
Yeah.
I was actually banned from all bookmakers in the year 2014. So from 2000 to 2014, I lost over £300,000.
Wow.
Yes.
And where did you get the money from? How did you afford it?
I was actually conning the bookmakers to fuel my gambling addiction, yes. And that is why in 2014 a Crown Court judge banned me from every bookmakers in the United Kingdom for, I believe it was 5 years. Okay. Yes.
So tell me this, how much do you take responsibility for your actions? How much do you think it's to do with the nature of these particular betting terminals?
Well, before the FOBTs come out, I was gambling since the age of 9. Very, very, very bad gambler. I can relate to Tony Franklin. I really do feel sorry for him. I believe he's lost over 2 million, the same as me. But you had a chance before the machines come out. I used to have 2, 3, 4, 5 grand on horses, and sometimes I'd win 2 to 1, 3 to 1, and I'd collect 15, 20 grand. But the last time I went into a bookmaker was 2013, and I remember going up to the staff and I wanted £1,500 on an horse at 3 to 1, and she said to me, no, you can only have £60 on it. Right. But we can load the £1,500 into the machines if you want. So the bookmakers know that you've got absolutely no chance at all of winning any money on these FOBTs. This is why they're not accepting any bets on horses and dogs anymore.
Let me bring in Adam. Your father went to jail for stealing to fuel his habit, something that you only found out about, I think, after it was reported in the media. It's had his gambling has had a devastating impact on your life. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, so my dad actually, you're right, he went to prison for fraud. He'd had a gambling addiction for about 30 years that he'd kept secret from the family. It started offline and then in recent years went online. And as he bet more and more and more, he started borrowing money from banks, from credit cards, payday loans. He even remortgaged their house in secret without any of us knowing. He ended up stealing money from his employers to fund the habit, which he ultimately went to prison for. But still, when he was on his way to court and going through the court case, we had no idea until he'd actually gone into prison. He got a 2-year sentence for fraud. And, you know, that shock and the debt and the misery we were left with just devastated the family.
Let me bring in Carolyn Harris, then Labour MP, and also John White from the British Amusement Catering Trade Association. So the proposals that are going to be consulted on over the next few months talk about reducing the 100 quid stake every 20 seconds to somewhere between £2 and £50. That's quite a big difference, isn't it? What are you going to be campaigning for?
Oh, £2. If it's not £2, then I'll feel that the campaign that I've been running for the last 2 years will have been a waste of time. But I'm confident that the government will see sense, because there is overwhelming evidence that people's lives are being destroyed by these machines. And I'm interested to hear what Adam was saying. So many people I've spoke to have had to steal in order to feed their gambling habit.
They don't have to steal, of course, do they?
No, but we would not say that about a cocaine addict. We accept that people have a problem with drugs, and we accept that they commit crime in order to feed that. It's exactly the same with these machines, but nobody's acknowledging the fact that these machines are as dangerous as any other drug. When you see the statistics that say that 31% of the people who actually use these machines earn less than £10,000. So where do they get the money to put into these machines from? They're not earning it. No. It's got to come from somewhere.
John White, just be clear for our audience what kind of organisations you represent.
So BACTA represents the amusement machine industry. So that's your seaside amusement arcade, the people that put machines in pubs and clubs, and adult gaming centres on the high street.
So, and where do you stand on whether it's a £2 stake every 20 seconds or anywhere up to £50?
We think it should be reduced quite substantially, and £2
because you
would
get
be
more business compared to the betting shops?
No, not at all. It's just about striking the right balance between what is appropriate for those people that wish to play on machines and enjoy what they have to offer, and the harm that machines can cause to some people. And quite frankly, £100, £50, £20, the numbers that are quoted in this consultation paper just don't cut the mustard. You're not going to see, from all the evidence that I've seen, any reduction in the harms that these machines can cause.
As a Labour MP, you'll be concerned about jobs, of course. You know the betting industry say if you reduce the stake to £2, thousands of people will be out of work in the gambling industry.
Well, I don't accept that. And the reason why I
just don't believe them?
Well, no, I don't believe them. I mean, the point is, they cluster shops. They're only allowed 4 machines per shop, so they cluster. They will put 4, 5, 6, even more betting shops in the close proximity. They are sole worker operations. The truth of it is, they make so much money from these machines that they open up extra shops in order to take over 50% of their revenue comes from these machines.
Exactly. You know, that's what they're saying. That's why people will be out of work.
Yeah, but no, I mean, if we close
well, you've just done the maths yourself.
I've done
much.
the maths, but what I'm saying is that if we actually had better businesses on the high street, if we reduced the stake, there'd be more income that people could spend in cafes and restaurants. There'd be better shops in the high street, and the lone working is very, very dangerous.
Gambling is a legitimate industry. It's not illegal in this country.
It isn't, but the FOBTs are very, very dangerous. I mean, I'm not out to destroy gambling per se. I'm just out for anything which is bad for individuals, and this is really, really bad for individuals.
Michael on email says, I used to work in betting shops. I've seen people spend hundreds of pounds in minutes chasing their losses. I welcome any limits because they let people have fun without getting into financial trouble. Leon tweets this, I work in a bookies. I'm terrified by this. So many friends and family could lose their jobs. Do you care?
I have to say that FOBTs have caused job losses across the economy. One figure that I think stands out for me from our particular sector is that nearly a half of adult gaming centres you find on the high street have disappeared since the introduction of these types of machines. It is perfectly right and proper that a sustainable bookmaking industry should exist on the high street, likewise adult gaming centres, likewise family entertainment centres. But I come back to that word again, Victoria, it's balance. What is the right stake for machines on the high street to allow people to enjoy them, provide employment, provide businesses, but without coming to harm? Now, there was a study out there, I don't want to get into too much technicalities, that said actually the introduction of these machines had actually destroyed jobs. So I don't buy the argument that's being put forward, although for each individual, of course, it's a tragedy and one sympathises.
Jason, you want to come back in there?
Yeah, a good point what Caroline's just made. Now, they're saying that there's going to be 16,000 people out of a job if the stake gets reduced to £2. I actually believe there's more than 16,000 people that have lost their job because they've got addicted to the FOBTs.
Okay. Well, thank you, all of you. Thank you very much for coming on the programme. We'll see what happens in the next few weeks. There's obviously going to be a lot of lobbying, a lot of campaigning going on. Thank you. Carolyn Harris, Labour MP, John White from the British Amusement Catering Trade Association, Adam Bradford and Jason Hadigan. We're grateful for your time. Thank you.
Thank
your
you very
reaction
much.
welcome, of course. Do send me an email. You can message us on Twitter, Facebook, etc.